Today, we're visiting a site in London called New Hayes. New Hayes is a residential development by Fairview New Homes, comprising of 330 apartments across 9 blocks, which are located less than 4 miles from Heathrow Airport. New Hayes is being designed and built to comply with secured by design guidelines. Urmet Installer Rolec Electrical are installing our 2-wire door entry system, 2-voice, and our IP access control system, IPASAN, on the side to provide a seamless, integrated door entry and access control solution. Based in Milton Keynes, Rolec Electrical specialises in supplying electrical, mechanical and security services to the new build residential sector. With over 100 experienced employees and an extensive project portfolio, Rolec Electrical are experts in providing cost-effective, comprehensive services for property developers nationwide. Today, we're meeting up with Michael Wilkes from Rolec Electrical, along with a few representatives from Secured by Design, as we're walked through Rolec's installation at New Hayes.
Hi, my name's Michael. I'm the M&E Projects Manager for Rolec here at Chaley New Hayes. Rolec are an M&E contractor. Our responsibilities here are for plot ventilation, electrical works and plumbing works throughout the whole development. This consists of inside the plots, communal areas, car parks, energy centres, switch rooms. We will also look after the IRS systems, CCTV and of course access control. Today we'll be taking a walk through Carpenter House. This is the first block that has now been completed. Let's get started. This is the Urmet 2 Smart Panel. Our engineers find this panel very easy to use, also like the sleek design, the flat plate design. When a visitor wants to gain access, all they have to do is come to the panel, call number,
please enter the number to call,
select the apartment number they wish to go to, push OK, wait for the response, and then they can be let into the apartment. When a resident wants to gain access, they have their fob. They present their fob.
Access granted.
And they're in the building. When a postman wants to gain access, here they've been provided fobs. They simply present their fobs, the same as a resident.
Access granted.
And they've gained access. Let's take a look inside.
Access granted.
We've now entered into the secure lobby. This is where the postman comes in to deliver his post and any delivery drivers. This is covered by CCTV, so the area is secure at all times. This is the secondary panel, which then leads us into the main block. The reason for the secondary panel is to create a secure lobby, ensuring that no unauthorised persons can gain access into the block, which is also a requirement of Secure by Design. Once a visitor has come through the main door, they get to the secondary panel, they repeat the process again. They call the apartment, call number, call the same apartment number, they're called down and let through into the secondary area. Let's continue through to the lift lobby.
Access granted.
This is the third panel in this block. Once the visitor has got to this point, they run the same protocol.
Please enter the number to call.
Call the apartment. The homeowner will then answer as previously. They will select the lift. When they get into the lift, it will only take them to that floor. So they will select the floor number and it will take them up to the designated floor. So here we have the Urmet Miro video handset. It's actually very easy to install. It's a 2-wire system. It has binary dip switches. One little unique feature that the Miro has is by pushing the button, you can display your main entrance and you can see footage of the street view. You can see if there's any kind of disturbance out there. Equally, you can push the button for a second time and then you can view your internal postal lobby. So if you've got a delivery driver down there and you've let him in and said, "Lee, drop it in the postal lobby," you can then view it from here, see that he's dropped that parcel. You can then either go down and collect your parcel, or it can come through to come up to the apartment. So when we get a call, simply pick up the handset. "Hi Manj, do you want to come in?" So when they want to come in, simply push the green button. That allows them to come through the door. So when your visitor has arrived at the lift, they simply select your apartment number. They push the lift call button. Once entering into the lift, for example, we're on level 1, they would select level 1. That lift would then come to level 1, and then they could come straight to the apartment. Once they've done that, once they're in that lift, they cannot select another button. It will not go to another floor. It is designed to go to that floor where the call has come from. They cannot access any other areas on the block, because that is what Secure by Design requirements are. So all of the stair core doors are protected by a prox reader. Every resident can go full access of the ground floor, and they can also go to the first floor, which allows access to the podium. Now let's go and take a look at the podium. We're now entering the podium door, which is a prox access. It means the resident has to prox in and prox out. So as we enter out onto the podium, you can see we have some duplex properties all the way down here. They have their own access to the podium. Here we have the Urmet self-resetting press to exit or emergency release button. The reason for this over a standard unit is less maintenance. Once you push the emergency release, it will unlock for a period of time. But unlike conventional old ones, someone would physically need to come and reset this. Now, after a time-lapse period of about 15 seconds, I believe this one's set for, it will actually then re-energize and the door will become locked again. One of the features of this is it has an audible alarm, which when the emergency exit is pressed, there will be an audible alarm indicating that this has been activated. It can also be disabled, as this one is, if it's close to a residence, or which is going to cause disturbance to people if it's accidentally pressed. But on things like bin stores, cycle stores, main entrances, it's good to have them just so people are aware that it has been pressed, and it stops people pushing them unintentionally. So now that we've actually gained access to the car park, basically we can head to the cycle stores, which again is controlled by a gated entrance. So let's go over and take a look at that. So the bin and cycle stores are also controlled via a prox reader. To gain access, the resident simply takes their prox. They then gain access, and they can gain access into their cycle store or bin store. Also, we can head towards the car park gate. The car park gate is controlled via prox, so the resident can simply prox in or prox out. The gates will then open. It also has a neat feature that every resident is given, if they have a car park space, they have a remote fob for that as well, which will access the gates as well. So let's go from here back to the main entrance, where we'll meet Lynn from Secure by Design. Today we've been lucky enough to be joined by Lynn from Secure by Design, who's going to explain a little bit more about Secure by Design. Can you explain your role in Secure by Design?
Yep, I'm a development officer and I work for Secure by Design, that's owned by Police Crime Prevention Initiatives, and I cover the south of England basically, and I work with the designing out crime officers that work with developers to help make these places safer and less honeypots of crime basically.
So what does Secure by Design accreditation mean?
Okay, for a development like this, it means that the physical security of the buildings, such as the doors, the windows, the access control, lighting, things like that, have reached a certain standard and they've been tested and certificated.
So, what makes Urmet 2 Smart Panel SBD accredited?
Okay, well, the panel itself is tested within a Secure by Design accredited door set to LPS 1175, security rating 2. It's also UL 293, so it's, it's got double whammy, if you like,
Yep.
on the security front. So member companies have to have, as I said, if there is a test and certification for any kind of product standard, then they have to have it. So to come on board, Urmet had those tested, and now they've got several products, but the 2 Smart is the one they've got here today, which has both accreditations.
So can you tell me why Secure by Design collaborated with UL to create UL 293 accreditation?
Yeah, UL 293 basically was created due to the fact there was no other certification testing out there for access control systems, but especially door entry panels.
So can you tell me what makes this lobby secure?
Okay, well, we've seen the access control coming through from the outside and the standard of the door. You've got the CCTV as well, which is great for covering the mailboxes here. The lighting's great, the white lighting, which I love. It's great for light rendition for the eyes, and the access control as well. So you can't get through this lobby through to the residential areas past here.
Shall we go through to the lift lobby?
Yeah, good.
Access granted.
So how does securing a lift and stair cores help their residents?
Okay, well, they've got control basically over who they're letting in and where they're letting these visitors in, and also where they're allowed to go. Obviously they can go to management and get access to more floors, so it helps prevent antisocial behaviour. So you don't get people running around the stairwells, up and down the corridors. You do have elderly residents in blocks of flats, vulnerable people, who want to be able to know that they can roam down their corridor and feel safe that they're not going to bump into a total stranger off the street.
So can you tell me how a self-resetting exit control improves building security?
Okay, the press to exit with the emergency is so much better than the old green brake glasses. You used to be able to press those and it would disable the door, and it could be disabled for a day, but it could be a week, could be a month, which would just leave free access for anybody to come and go. Unfortunately, it wouldn't just be outside people, residents would quite often do it because they'd lose their passes or they wouldn't want to come down to let people in. So of course they'd push the green brake glasses, it would disable the door. With this now, it's got a time set on it, so if in an emergency, if this isn't pushed, obviously the door releases straight away, but in emergency, opens the door and it disables it for a certain amount of time. So we don't have to about resetting it, it already gets reset automatically. We don't have to worry about it, so it's not going to be flapping in the wind for a week. So they are a lot better.
So can you tell me why a building like this requires all these elements of control on access control?
Well, we're in London for a start, so it's a city. Very busy. I'm not to say the crime analysis that's done by the designing out crime officers is through the roof, it's not necessarily, but it is a city, it is busy. There's a lot of residents. In this building in particular, it's over 25 units. This block in particular, where we are today, has those extra measures just to make it a bit more secure and safe. It's just nicer for people to live and for the kids to play and feel safe inside the building as well. They have the control over it, as I've mentioned, which I think is great because it gives it back to them. They have control over it, they can police their own buildings, and the management agents and whoever cares for the building, the actual products that go in, because of the standards, they're made to last as well.
So I'm really pleased on how Rolec's performed on this development. The engineers have done a really nice job and hope to see you on the next one.